has gone and the Nifty has opened with a cut of about 89 points. So after 3 days of gains, the markets have opened the holiday shortened week with a cut of about 0.3%. Remember, Wall Street too took a bit of a breather and the benchmark indices had opened with a cut. The big drag is coming in from the FMCG names. The Nifty FMCG index has opened in the red. Britannia is your top loser. That's down close to about 1.3%. Nestle, HUL weak in trade. HDFC Bank is nursing some losses. SBI Life is weak in trade. We're going to watch for HDFC Life. And yes, that's the top Nifty gainer after, the breather, the relief that's come through on the surrender value. So it's not going to be as onerous as the market was fearing. And HDFC Life is the top Nifty gainer, 2% up on that. Adani Ports, after they've made that acquisition of nearly 1,300 crore rupees, Adani Ports is seeing some strength today. The mid-cap index opened in the red, but now is back in the green. All in all, it's a muted start in line with what the pre-open was suggesting. It's about 50 points down on the Nifty, cut of about 0.25%.
All right, Rima, a few stocks that are moving around. Mankind Pharma, the stock is down close to around 3%. Massive volumes out there. I think that large trade has taken place. So keep an eye out on that stock. It's down 3% because of that reason. Ashok Leyland, yesterday they've announced a 4.95 rupee dividend. And the record date they have fixed is 3rd of April. So explains why that stock as well is up close to around 1%. Now, you'll be wondering that HDFC Life is the biggest gainer on the Nifty, while SBI Life is the biggest loser. The reason is that SBI Life gets least impacted because of these regulations, and also that could be now a bit of a switch. So you have SBI Life actually that's underperforming, while HDFC Life is outperforming. Yash tells me that in case those regulations did come about, revised regulations did come about, HDFC Life would be the one that gets the hardest hit. Now that's not come about, so actually HDFC Life is seeing some bit of relief in today's trading session. A couple of other big stocks that are moving around. Max Financial, it has valuation support as well. This no change in terms of regulations has come as a positive. So that's the big winner. If you pull up a valuation parameter, you'll see it's trading at a sharp discount in comparison with its peers. So that's up close to 5.5%. ICICI Prudential as well up close to 3.5%. And Indices, just take a look at the way that stock has moved. In the last 7 trading sessions, it's moved from around 230 to around 278. There is that wait for a large trade to take place. But in the meanwhile, the stock is flying away. And as we highlighted earlier today as well, JSPL, well, fundamentally things looking up for the steel sector because there is a correction in the raw material cost. The problem is steel prices are not moving up, but the promoter entity, that's Mr. Naveen Jindal, has joined the ruling party BJP and he'll contest Lok Sabha elections. The stock normally gets a bit of a discount in comparison to its peers because of political uncertainty. Maybe that's a little behind them now, and that's why the stock is looking up 2.5% higher in today's session. Survey.
It's all about the broader market recovery. I think that's what started towards the end of last week, and that seems to be playing out even now. So if we talk about some more names, the movers and shakers, so to speak, watch out for Interglobe Aviation. After the analyst meet, some of the brokerages, Jefferies, for instance, they've upgraded their targets. Now they have I think a hold rating. Earlier they had a negative rating on the stock. And they've upgraded their EBITDA estimates by almost 12-13% as well. So Interglobe is holding out quite okay. The insurers, as Nigel also mentioned, Max is retaining that 6% gain. ICICI Prudential Life, 3.5% higher. So that's the other one to look out for. Vedanta, Nigel was telling us, that it's after 6 long years we'll see some resumption in Goa mining. But he also, told us a very important context. That qualitatively, it doesn't move the needle much, the kind of, iron ore you get in Goa. But anyway, for what it's worth, there's a little bit of green on that stock as well. Let's move beyond and see what else is moving in the broader markets, because that's where the churn seems to be. Avenue Supermarts, some of the brokerage upgrades that Mangalam was talking about, they're working well on the stock, 2% higher. Indus Towers is up 1.5%. Remember, Indus was a long call that Mitesh gave us on the technicals, saying that he sees a bit of a breakout. So that call is working well. Some of the other insurance players as well. New India Assurance is up and about. KPIT Tech is having a good early morning, 2% higher. Look at EIH, NBCC, there's Dr. Lal Path Labs, Jyoti CNC, the recent listing, 6.5%, 7% higher. So basically, the broader market seems to be alive and kicking. And the large cap screen, not bad actually. We've managed to recover quite well from the first initial cut. The Nifty is just about 30-odd points negative now. And watch out for some of the tech names. Look at HCL Tech. Smart intraday recovery from the opening lows. Even Wipro for that matter. Remember, that's the question that we were putting up as we started, whether the whole reaction to Accenture, whether that was done and dusted in one day, because the important caveat there is that Accenture did a guidance cut, but the year ends in August. And a lot of these companies are talking about recovery in the second half, which means, August and beyond. So maybe it's not really apple to oranges, just looking at the time horizon. So IT seems to be looking at some recovery as well.
And just one word on Mankind Pharma. I'm looking at a Nuvama alternate and quant desk research report that's come about. They're saying post this 3% that's changed hands. The revised shareholding for the March quarter, that's reported by April 16th, which in all probability should happen. Then the stock automatically would qualify for the MSCI May 2024 review. So that's the reason why the stock has recovered a little bit from the low point of the day post that deal. The free float will increase, and that's what helps it get into the MSCI review as well. So that's a stock that I'm looking at. Another one that we're looking at is, IMFA, that's Indian Metals. They announced very, very late in the Friday's trading session that they'll be considering a special dividend in the next couple of years. Things that are working for them, well, they have got some part of that compensation from JSPL. So that's why they're going to be considering that special dividend. And ferrochrome prices have moved up. And as I told you earlier, for some of these users of coking coal, it's good news because coking coal costs are down by close to around 10% in the last 7 to around 8 sessions. So explains why some of these stocks are doing very, very well.
Well, IIFL Finance and GM Financial are also weak in trade. It straight away opened with a cut of about 2 to 3%. Remember, they're likely to face more RBI scrutiny. The central bank has floated an e-tender to seek interest from firms to conduct a special audit on GM Financial and IIFL Finance for the regulatory lapses, whether it was related to gold loan disbursement or the IPO financing. So I think on 12th of April is what the RBI has said, that the special audit will be conducted on these two firms. And there is that regulatory overhang as they face more scrutiny. And these are two stocks which are under pressure today. Yeah.
One more to add to the list, and it's an interesting one. PB Fintech. Now, stock's flat. It's not doing anything this morning. But remember that Bima Sugam has been launched along with this whole surrender value new norms. What is Bima Sugam? Basically, it's a giant, aggregator portal where you can buy insurance and, get serviced as well. So from the face of it, it looks like a bit of a competitor to the kind of business model that PB Fintech has going. And it's all about margins. And this being a wide UPI kind of platform, maybe there's going to be a bit of a margin crunch. We'll see how it plays out. But PB Fintech has done exceedingly well in the last 1 year. And for the time being, it's not showing any sort of a major negative reaction to the launch of this big portal from IRADAI.